All right, everyone. So the Super Bowl for filmmakers happened last night, the Oscars. But what did I do afterwards, and what can you take away from this for yourself, just as I did, to basically hold some significance in your path and in your journey as a filmmaker? For that and much more information, let's jump right in. Yeah, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Filmstoration. My name is writer-director Edgar Ibarra, and this is The Process, and that was me almost spitting out my previous branding. But yeah, so the Oscars were on Sunday night. This is now Tuesday. I'm probably the last person on earth to make a video about this, but here's what I want to offer about that. First off, congratulations to all the winners, all the nominees. How cool would that be to be able to say that you won an Oscar, for more importantly for than just winning an Oscar, but because you put together something amazing that people actually loved, or maybe it touched people, etc. Congratulations to Parasite. I gotta watch that movie. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and so now more than ever I'm super intrigued. And also congratulations to Mr. Joaquin Phoenix, Joker. Damn, you guys already know. I don't have to go off in that direction. The speech though, man. Wow, that was, you could see the jitters in him, but it came from the heart with Joaquin. So kudos to you, man. Kudos to everyone else who won. Again, the nominees. Then afterwards, I've not been able to do a video since Saturday night because right after the Oscars, I got back to work. I had to make some posters or some artwork for my IMDb, then send it off to my graphics guy who is handling all the uploads. And afterwards, I just kind of got back to that, because then yesterday, Monday morning, got up and edited. I think it was like 5 o'clock when I got up. So came home, did a little bit more editing on the scene that I kind of almost finished last night. But my point is that there is a takeaway from the Oscars. And two more things about the Oscars. Number one, what's up with the change from best foreign language film to best international feature? And also, I guess the category for best picture now is also open to foreign language films. Like, I have nothing against both of those changes. I'm actually for them. I just had no idea that they were coming, and so apparently that they did happen. So if anybody knows, and I could probably look this up, but again, this goes back into my main story of, I got back to work. I've not been able to even look up articles on these two topics. So if you know anything, go ahead and drop me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you, and if I could speak. You know what? I'm gonna drink a little water. You're gonna watch this on camera. Ooh, did it on camera. Don't call the police. So anyhow, yeah, those two topics. What happened with those two things? I'm just curious, but they're very nice changes to see to the way things are typically done. But then afterwards, I've been struggling. I've been trying to sit down and just bang out a video for you guys. And the last video I made, part of it was the fact that you have to fight to get the opportunity to sit down and do your work. In this case, I consider Filmstoration part of my work, because damn, it's hard. Like, it's really, really difficult to just make the time. You don't make the time. You literally just have to force yourself to do it, period. And I'm actually trying to come to a place where, like, I'm not, and I can't do a lot of editing because I don't have that time. I just need to do this raw. So here we go. Oscars. Afterwards, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it is groundbreaking. But it's not, but it isn't. I got back to work. And I think that's one of the big takeaways that you can take away from the Oscars, is just getting back to work and being inspired by, the power of cinema that we all fell in love with. If you work in front of or behind the camera, getting back to your craft. In my case, in my beautiful office, but nevertheless, getting back to it when no one is paying you for it, and hell, maybe if in many cases you were the person that had some money come out of your pocket in order to be able to do your cinema. Nevertheless, get back to work. That's what you could take away, because I'm I was just so pumped after the Oscars to then just come. I literally hung out with my wife for about 10 more minutes, and then I had to come back in here to finish some things off. And that was it, you guys. Like, I got back to work on Sunday night after the Oscars, early Monday morning, yesterday morning, and then late last night, and then early this morning again, starting at around 6 a.m. till about 8:30 a.m. But you know, that's the thing that I just thought after the Oscars. You know, whatever your thing is, if you're a filmmaker, an actor, an actress in training, whatever your thing is, maybe you're not even in the arts. When it comes down to it, okay, bravo, and I'm not trying to be facetious there, but seriously, bravo. Now let's get back to work. I've seen it happen all too often that some filmmakers around me will get lost in the hype and in the daydreaming. And I do stress certain filmmakers because that's not all of us, to the point where, you know, time goes by and, you know, did they ever get back to working on that thing, on that script, or on that scene they had to edit, on that movie they had to finish editing? I think past the red carpets, and I've never been a Hollywood insider, so don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to sound like I've been in Hollywood. Like, that's not the impression. Let's get that out of the way. That's not the impression I'm trying to give. But, you know, like, here's what I do have to say from an outsider, outside of Hollywood, but inside of, you know, working in the local news industry, is that I think, and even more so in Hollywood, I think people see the glitz, the glamour, in the case of Hollywood, the red carpets, the sets, the magic of movies and cinema in general, and you think, damn, that's a really, and honestly, it's a really sexy world. It's a really sexy world, right? I want to meet the person who, you know, maybe they're a grip or a PA or, you know, some position. I don't care who, but I want to meet the person who's going to tell me, like, yeah, it's sexy, but at the end of the day, it's a freaking job that you have to sit down to do. Because that's how I feel. That's how I feel when I have to, you know, step into my office here at my crazy, wacky, weird hours. That's how I feel when, you know, a lot of, you know, I'm out in the field and I see on people's faces the, not, I don't know, I guess in some cases starstruck, but, you know, like it's the TV, right? And, you know, I'm there with the camera, maybe I'm with a reporter, maybe other times I'm not, but what I think a lot of people don't see is that when you push all of the sexy or the flash aspect aside, it's work. And it's work that I have to get back to. It's work that I'm pretty sure, and this is the person I want to meet in Hollywood. I want to meet the person that's going to tell me, ultimately, you got to get back to work. You enjoy the moments. In the case of Hollywood, the red carpets. You know, I'm pretty sure all of that is very much enjoyed. But I want to meet the person who's really going to be able to just let me know that I'm doing it right and that I'm thinking about this correctly when, you know, once the lights are off and the red carpets are rolled up, that it is time to get back to work. And for me, that was literally about 10 minutes after the Oscars. You know, it's something that I don't think, at least from my personal opinion as an editor and as a cameraman that I've been very blessed to be for all these years in the news industry here in Tucson, Arizona, now currently for the NBC affiliate, I don't think it can be stressed enough to where you have a job and it has to get done. You know, after the glitz, after the glamour, all of that aside, that's only like, you know, a nice little thing, I guess, that comes along with it. But the thing is that, like, none of that happens unless people get back to work and practice and refine and further plan to do and then further execute on the craft that, you know, in my case, in the case of my day job, journalism, that I've been practicing for a long time. Outside of work, filmmaking that I've been doing for a long time here in Tucson. And so it's about work, you guys. I know I'm like a broken record right now. I hope you haven't turned off this video, and I hope you'll hang with me because I kind of have nothing else. And in a way, that's kind of a good thing, because I'm not trying to sell you, like my proven system, or some BS like that. Like, this is the straight up message that I have, and it kind of goes back to that whole notion of like, for those of you who do a little investing, or maybe just listen to old adages and wisdom from those who have come before us. Sometimes it comes down to some basics like hard work, or in the case of investing, it's set X amount of dollars aside out of your budget every time you get paid, invest, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, and you do that for a few decades, you'll probably get somewhere. And where I'm going with this is that I've got nothing new for you other than driving this home in kind of a selfish way, because it applies to me too, big time. I mean, that's where this whole concept came from. Work. I'm repeating this message over and over again because when it comes down to it, enjoy those moments, the highs, hopefully not the lows, but they will be there, get through those. But enjoy the highs, and then it comes back to getting down to work. And so because of that, I've come to a point in my content making journey, in my content making career, where it's like I get into Facebook, I kill all the notifications, per the notifications, I see what there is to go through, I respond to whatever I need to respond to. Same thing with the DMs. And then I get out because I got to do my stuff, because guess what, the minutes slip into 15-minute increments, which slip into hours, which slip into days. That time doesn't come back. So I kind of touched upon this in one of my previous videos, or just the last video actually. So tomorrow morning, do you want to look back on tonight and know that you went to work, or that you just kind of like dicked around? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I take away from the Oscars. And now, am I saying that like, my movie's gonna make it to the Oscars? Well, I don't know, hopefully, maybe, you know what I mean? But that would be kind of cool. But, or am I saying that like, I'm gonna be making calling cards for Hollywood? Like, that's not where I'm even going with any of this. I do my thing independently, but it gets back to exactly that, doing my thing independently. And let's dice that up a little further and say it comes back to doing, and just doing your work and doing your craft. Don't forget, you guys, it comes down to work, and it comes down to some boring basics that I am such a broken record in this video, and I hear it too. I'm very well aware of it, but it comes back to that, you guys. There's no amount of bullshitting, there's no amount of ego stroking or anything like that that's gonna get your movie or your project made. Like, when it comes down to it, you sit down, or as I sat down after the Oscars, get back to work. I didn't want to make, nor could I ever make, nor could I compete with all these other videos. This happened at the Oscars, and want to fight with people about did Martin Scorsese not win, and what he said about Marvel film. It's like, I don't want to do any of that, because like, that's all fine and dandy. You'll find plenty of places on the internet, but this is what I want to talk about. I just wanted to talk about work. I just wanted to talk about taking the Oscars, being inspired, being learning whatever I can about what's going on with the Oscars, learning what I can about again, the trends also in filmmaking at the Hollywood level, or maybe even here locally, or as their trends can be applied locally. And then moving on, getting back to work. And I'm not kidding you, I probably sat down, what time were the Oscars over? Like 8:30, 8:45, I think, Arizona time. I don't know, let's say by 9:15 p.m. I was at my computer, and I really didn't leave my computer till about midnight, because I had some graphic design work to do. Got that out of the way, sent it off, went to bed around midnight, was up at 4 a.m. so I kind of slept at like, no, I was up like 5 on Monday, got up a little later, just slept some hours. But guess what, even very first thing in the morning, get back to work. I am beyond. You know what? I'm gonna title this video Broken Record, because I've got nothing else for you. Use Hollywood in that sense. Hollywood already uses us. You know, we go and look how much we put into the box office and at the concession stand, so they already use us. Why don't you use Hollywood and use it for that correct inspiration to then, you know, get back to work and say, you know what, I want to put together content that's going to inspire people, it's going to move people, it's going to reach people, touch people, show them something, let them see a story that maybe they've never seen before. Use Hollywood in that way. Use the Oscars in that way. That's what I got. I would like to thank the Academy for that. I'm just kidding. Anyway, everyone, love you guys all. Gonna drop this one tonight, and afterwards, yeah, I hope that you guys, oh, you know what, here's a question, and please leave this in the comments. What do you guys do to get yourself pumped to get back to work? Because I know a lot of people, a lot of different techniques, a lot of different things that they do to get inspired or motivated, or just, or as another way to say it would be like get their asses into gear. What do you do? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear what you've got to say and think about this. And if you haven't done so, please hit that subscribe button and also the little bell next to it. That way you're notified next time I make a new video. If you're all about the tweets, the Facebooks, all the other socials, bam, right below, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I actually do have to get back to work. I have to revise a scene that I cut early this morning, but get back to work. And if you have a higher power, consult your higher power. Otherwise, don't ask for anyone's blessing, anyone's permission. Run out there, do your thing, tell your stories. I want to hear about them. I got to get back to my stuff, because again, this is Filmstoration, the process. That is why it's called the process, because damn, it is a process. It is a process, and I like to talk about that, as you guys know, but not even I am exempt from that concept. So, love you guys all. Talk to you guys later. Adios.